Alright, to get the inner axle U-joint out, we're going to knock off the outside. This is a hub guard. I'm not sure what they call it. It should come right out of there. Take the 5 fine threaded Nurlock bolts out and we'll pull it up. See what we got underneath it. Oh, I think I'm going to pull it up. And that's bearings probably right in there. So I'm not exactly sure how. We're going to have to pry it. Come right back to you. Alright, so we got the outside hub off. I put the kids to work on the body. They're going to sand her down. We're going to get our camo paint job, I think. We're trying to take this inner spline off. Apparently a Ford 8N spline output shaft is the same as this. So we need to take this out of there. And I have the one at work I'm going to show you after. And you can see someone's already been into this. Now, to get these outside U-joints out, I'll show. There is a hole in here. In there, see it right there? It's not just to let the water out. There's a roll pin in there you can hit. And you got to punch that out to get the other one off the axle. Well, we'll go into detail on that in a little bit. First off, we're going to try to get this off. So what I'm doing here is I want to get these bearings out right here. There's a bearing here. And this thing had grease fittings. One there, one in the U-joint, and you could grease the other bearings here. There's 2 on the outside of this hub, on this hub here, and there's 1 inside of the stub here. So we want to change this one. I got 6 to go get tomorrow night. They're $12 a piece, so we're going to replace them all. But we need to take this off, but I'm prying on this. It feels like I'm pulling the axle out, so I'm going to pull it up and we're going to smack the axle down. Hopefully it'll drive this U-joint off, because right now I can't feel any split pins in there. Roll pin, whatever you want to call it. So maybe I can get something in here and pry it right off. Okay, so there is no roll pin on the inner joint here. So we just got lucky and it came out. But I still want that bearing changed in here, so we're going to take those. There, it looks like there's some bolts down in there. We're going to take those out and then pull the shaft cover off. Let's get her done. Alright, so I got the inner yoke off, and it's supposed to be a Ford 8N spline. We'll see when we go to TSC tomorrow night. And you're supposed to be able to buy the U-joints over the counter, and we'll get into that in a minute. But it looks like it had a split pin, roll pin there. Maybe someone just didn't put it back on. I believe there's probably another 4 nuts there. I'd probably take those off. And this outside casing probably comes off, and then you're probably supposed to get at that. I'm not 100% sure. Does it need those roll pins? Probably not here, but on the outside hub, and I'll show you in a minute, it needs the split pin in there to keep the wheel from flying off. Alright, let's clean that gump out of there and see what we can get that apart. Alright, so it's Sunday, April 17th now. We finally got some spring weather here. We're going to start up these old cars here. The Caddy first, and then Trans Am, then we can get back on the Terra Jet. Oh, this hasn't been going since Adam Ghostmo was here. I'll put a link to his channel down below. I hope it starts up. I have lights. So, it's not really a good cold start, but anyway. Start it right up. How much gas do I have? All the lights on the dash. I have the traction control fuse out so I could do a burnout. Sounds really good. Now I'll put a link to Adam's channel down below here. Alright, next one up is my 95 Trans Am convertible. Let's see if this one will spark up. I'll see if the door light comes on. And I have power still. So, I haven't had this one going since, not sure when, probably a couple months. Let's start it. It's not really a cold start, but I'll shut the fan off. Shut the radio off. Oh yeah. Hopefully I drive this more this year. Last year I had a rad problem and a coolant leak, and I didn't really drive it that much. So I'm gonna get some Mobil 1 oil this year, I think. Let's back her to the tent here. Still moves. Kids are probably pissed at me now because they can't ride their bikes through here. But too bad. Oh, is she ever dirty? Let's get a look at her. I'm gonna have to get her washed and waxed. Oh yeah. I love that sound. Is she ever dirty? It looks like somebody scratched it on me in there. Look at that. That's not good at all. Someone was in there. I'm not happy. Look at the rust on the rotors. Probably more likely one of the kids were in there. I had someone do the roof last year, so could have been them too. Anyway, it is what it is. It needs a paint job anyway. Alright, back to the project. We're trying to remove this outside hub spindle thingy right here. From what I'm reading online, it will not pull out unless I take the other side apart first. It's screwed. Listen to the bearings. It's got a grease fitting on it, but I don't think anybody's ever greased it. So let's go over here. I might have to knock this chain off. I was digging here with the screwdriver, so I'm gonna take these bolts out of here, and I think the sprocket will come out this side. I'm not 100% sure, but this has to come off first. There's an axle in here, and I think it's got a C-clip in here somewhere. The picture on the internet shows the C-clip, but we will find out when I get these bolts out. So first things first, let's get these bolts out of there and see what happens. I'm not gonna look too very confident on this because they're long bolts that come through here, this case cover, so this could be trouble. Alright, kids are working hard. One's on the sander, one's listening to music. They're taking turns. Get her done. Alright, so some of these bolts aren't coming out. Like this top one, the nut's spinning on the back. There is 4 of these long bolts that go all the way through the case on this side. I don't know if you can see that. There's the nut here. It's kind of screwed up. I cut the head off the bolt. Okay, I cut the head off the bolt. You get that one. These two in here, these two back ones, you have to hold the head from the chain case inside, and you need a very long 9/16 to get the bottom one. It's probably recommended to take your chain out of there first. I'm trying to do this without touching my chain, but it's probably not going to work out. So let's knock this out of there first. That off. I'm probably going to have to come back and grind that some more. Of course, I got a shitty, cheap hammer here. That doesn't help. I'll have to hit that again probably. So I'm just using a grinder to cut the head off. This whole piece comes off. This is a cover. It's going to give me access to the front gear. We'll see how bad it is. I'm probably going to end up probably look at it and then end up replacing it. This thing is just beat. Shouldn't have bothered, but oh well. I looked at other ones online. You can buy one for $1,000 that runs, has an engine in it, but probably the same thing's wrong with it. It's probably got all bearings gone. So I got, I don't know, a few hundred in this one now. Might as well just keep going with it and have something that's rebuilt. And you guys get to watch me fix stuff finally. Alright, let's work on the bottom one now. Alright, so I opted just to slice the bottom one. I'm going to have to go in and fix it. More than likely his gears are done. So let's get this off, see what we got in there. I need to replace the bearings inside of here. That's why I'm going through all this trouble. See, that's the bearing right there I want. And it only comes out through the outside. But you got to take all that B crap off there. So there's something holding this axle. Oh, I guess not, eh? Why did I have such a hard time? But we're going to have to clean this up now. It's a big mess. More than likely his gears are no good. Alright, so this is what we were trying to get out the other day. and I see it's a Keyway, and I'm still not sure how this comes off of here, so it must have a Keyway or something. That's dick. So we're going to replace all the bearings. Alright, so I'm probably going to pull a chain out of that and that gear out of there to see what kind of shape it is in, and clean all that mess out of there. I don't like that rust and stuff sticking in there, and make it easier to reinstall this. So I'll have to find the master link and clean that crap out of there. I just don't like it. And just by looking at the sprocket, it's hard to tell. It doesn't look too bad, but you have to see the shape of the teeth, how they sit in the gear. I don't really want to be putting it looks wore, but I don't really want to be putting a chain and gear in it, but we'll see what happens. Got a little bit more sanding done on it. The kids abandoned me, so I took over. Not trying to get it to be perfect, but I don't want any scratches showing through. I want it to be smooth. Alright guys, so if you like this kind of stuff, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to go check out my buddy's channel, Ghostma. I'll put a link to a video down here of I did on... well, he did the video on a plug removal on the side of a differential on his, I don't think it was a Tahoe, something like that. I think it was a Jimmy, not a Jimmy, Tahoe? I can't remember what it was now. It's a GM product anyway. Anyway, please comment, rate, and subscribe. Talk to you guys later. Bye.